How do we as leaders get our units to become more resilient? And how do we encourage our volunteers to hold on? Let's get into that today. Welcome to Scouting on Purpose, the only podcast for leaders looking to grow and improve their unit. I'm your host, Mark Cherry, and I am passionate about the scouting program. And in my 10 years, I have learned a few tips and strategies that, when used, will improve your unit, because a quality program is no accident. But before we get into our content, today's camp gear. Today's camp gear is a Scoutmaster essential, and that is the camp chair. Well, let me be the first to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that you are now considered a professional camper. And by that, what I mean is your camp gear needs to be quality. I mean, for us in the BSA, we're camping at least once a month, if not more. As a Cub Scout leader, we want to buy something that's going to prepare us for when we do get into the troop. So when you buy your camp chair, you want to buy a quality camp chair. And what I mean is, do not go down to Walmart or Academy and buy the $20 chair. I've wasted more money on those $20 chairs than I should have just bought the $60 chair right off the bat. So the $60 chair gives me the benefit of 440 pound capacity. Now, I'm not 440 pounds, but at least I know that that chair is strong enough that it's not going to buckle on me mid-sit. I've been there. Just the chair give way and you end up on the ground. It's not a great way to be on your camping trip. Now, you want to get one that's a little bit bigger than what you normally would, just to have the little bit of comfort. You can kind of sit sideways when you're comfortable. You can kind of scooch down in it and relax a little bit. Now, I don't personally have one, but I have seen them. There are some that have shocks on them, and you can rock these rocking camp chairs. They look comfortable. I just haven't bought one yet, but a lot of my buddies do have these, and they swear by them. The other kind you can get, and I do have one of these, it's a hiking camp chair. Now, all of you veteran hikers out there will hopefully back me up on this. But when we go hiking, we want a chair that we can sit in and then lean back. Just kind of rest the back after a day of hiking. And these camp chairs will break down into what looks like a taco. And they're designed to fit in your bag. Some of them are relatively light. But I'll have some links to some of my favorite ones down in the description. Which brings me into something new. I now have an Amazon affiliate account. So if you go back to the previous episodes, and I'm going to be working on it, the camp gear that I suggest, there will be a link to, so you can go to Amazon and purchase the one that I'm talking about. And by using that link, you'll help me out, which can help me grow the show. But go out and buy a good quality camp chair. Trust me, you will love it. And if you buy once, cry once, then that camp chair will last you for the rest of your scouting career. Or at least until you get tired of it and have to buy a new one. Hey, I want to take a minute right here, and I want to ask you to go down below, and I want you to click follow. And then give me a 5-star review. That's really going to help me out to get Spotify and iTunes and all those other cool places to bump me up to the top of the line. So today's topic came to me in an email. And this leader asked me, do I have any advice for leaders in a small shrinking unit or the ones that are facing difficulties with recruiting or gaining adult volunteers? And then how do worn out leaders stay consistent and hold on to the optimism when it seems like everything is working against them? Well, that was a very good question. And it took me a little while to think about it. But I did come up with some areas to focus on. So it's kind of a three-part question. And one is you got recruitment, retention, and encouragement. So as far as the encouragement goes, and this is for your worn out leaders that don't want to keep going because it seems like everything is working against them. And if you're wearing a lot of hats, or as I'm going to call it, if you're wearing a lot of patches, it can feel that way very easily. You're doing a lot of everything and you're getting worn out. You're getting really close to burnout, and burnout is very dangerous. So when it comes to encouraging other leaders to want to keep going, even though it feels like everything is working against them, get them to buy into it. In your next committee meeting, get the other den leaders and or parents, because you should be having your parents attend your committee meetings because we want to recruit them into the committee. Have them help you. Say, look, guys, I love being the Cub Master, or I love being the committee chair. However, this is a lot of task for one person to do. So divide the task. Say, you don't have to be the Cub Master in order to go do scout talks. You can send a den leader. If a den leader is able to take off 2 hours during a lunch, just take a longer lunch, and go to the elementary school or go to a PTO conference or whatever and recruit the scouts, well, that's one less thing that the Cub Master has to do, and that will help prevent burnout. And that den leader now feels like they have contributed to the pack or the unit. One question we need to ask ourselves is, why are we doing what we do? Now, the answer for this is for the scouts. If you're feeling discouraged, like you really don't want to keep going, remind yourself why we are doing this. The scouts, as long as they're having fun, that smile on their face is a really good payment for a job well done. It probably goes without saying, since I have a podcast about scouting, that I love this program. And yeah, some of you have probably gone back and listened to the episode of why I got involved, or why I'm involved with this program. But what I haven't said is why I am still in this program. Because nowhere else in the U.S., no other youth organization can I go rock climbing with my kids. You may find one or two, but as a general rule, all the other programs out there, it's just for the kids. It's just for the youth. But in BSA, after they're done climbing the climbing tower, I can go up there and rappel. At the Cub Scout level, it can seem daunting. It seems like, oh, that's just way off in the future, but it'll get here before you know it. And investing in the youth now is what's going to create those memories that last a lifetime. So use this time while your pack is probably small to maybe rethink how we attack the program. Now, I don't know how it is that you're doing your unit, but try something different. Maybe you go back to the planning a pack meeting and you implement some of the things that you've learned there. Maybe you go back to the building scout spirit and you implement some of those things. Maybe instead of meeting separately, we all meet together and then break out for the dens. Den leaders, you can change the way you deliver the program. Figure out how to make it a game. Baden Powell said that scouting is a game with purpose. Use it to your advantage. Figure out how to make it a game. Everything can be a game. At the very least, you can play hangman for why is a scout reverent? But when it comes to recruitment and retention, that one can be a little hard because we are in a unique situation this day and age where we are fighting one of the hardest oppositions we've ever fought, and that is video games. Over the past 10 years, video games has taken off exponentially. And the youth are wanting to stay at home and play video games. Maybe mom and dad kick them out of the house and they go ride their bike for a little while. But I mean, that's just like an hour or so. They can come right back and get back on their video game because that's their hobby. So the question that I would ask, and the one I often do, is what is that video game going to give you? Maybe 10% of the youth can go on to make a career out of video gaming. But 100% of Eagle Scouts have been given the skills and tools to succeed in life. The video game isn't going to get you out and experience the sunrise over the mountains. The video games aren't going to put you in a computer lab where you can 3D print something. So it's said that great people steal from great people. And a good friend of mine has said that in Scouts, you can go rifle shooting, rock climbing, whitewater rafting, or you can go robotics, chess, and rocketry. There's something for everyone in scouting. Use that with your recruitment. If you are having a problem getting into a school, contact your district executive. My district executive makes it his personal mission to get into a school. There was a school in our area that would not let him in, and he would not stop until they let him in. That's what these guys are there for, to help us whenever we're exhausted out on all of our efforts. Go back to your unit commissioner. Remember, they're your coach, mentor, and friend. They want to see your unit succeed almost as much as you do. So how to recruit volunteers? Well, like I said 2 episodes ago, we use that parent talent survey. There may be somebody in your unit who is really good at marketing or web design. Maybe they work for a radio station and you don't know it. Guys, the resources are in our units. Maybe they're not, but they might have a friend who does. Maybe their church will let them put it in the bulletin. Maybe they're the president of the PTO, and the PTO can help you. Just simply ask. Let's not be afraid to ask our parents, hey, does anybody have any way to help us recruit? Maybe you want to put a yard sign up in your yard. Everything helps. Not to mention scouts. Talk to your scouts. Tell them to let their friends know how much fun they're having in this program. They're the best recruitment tool there is. And don't forget to use your chartered organization. Now, charter organizations are like shoes. They come in all shapes and sizes. Everything from the VFW to churches to PTOs, some small charitable organizations. It could be a number of different chartered organizations. But see if they can help you. Get buy-in from them. Hey, you're not just supporting scouting, you're supporting the future of America. But however you decide to proceed, don't do it all at once. Do it little by little. Big ships turn slow. Perhaps this month you change the way you do your pack meeting. Perhaps this month the den leaders decide that they're going to try a different way of executing their den meetings. Outside is not a bad idea. Other people seeing it puts it in their minds. Make 1 to 2 changes at a time. I hope this helps, because it is a problem that almost every unit leader is facing. Some of us unit leaders are facing units that are less than 20. And the numbers are shrinking. So we also have the same problem. But remind yourself every time you start your meeting why you're doing this. Because I believe in the youth of America. Now it's time for our favorite section, the dad jokes. Is there anything worse than when it's raining cats and dogs? Yes. Hailing taxis. How many apples can grow on a tree? All of them. So I mentioned it earlier in the camp gear section that I've started an Amazon affiliate program. And the reason why is I would like to do more with Scouting on Purpose. But unfortunately, that does require funds. And I don't want to come on here and just simply ask for money. I would like for you to get something in return other than this really awesome content that is changing lives. So if you use the link in the description for the camp gear, for 24 hours, if you purchase that, I get a little bit of something back. I can use that to help grow Scouting on Purpose. So before we go, as always, I want to leave you with some deep thinking thoughts that make you want to go, Once we have self-driving cars, wipers will no longer be essential, because the car doesn't need to clean the windshield to drive. Only humans do. And here's a good one that I want you to carry on. I know some of these can be jokeful, but this is a good one. Someone out there vividly remembers something you said that you have completely forgotten. So there we have it, guys. Keeping a small shrinking pack going can be hard. It's one of the hardest things that we do. But utilizing the strategies that we've given out today, recruitment, retention, and building the enthusiasm with our leaders, that's going to be the keys to making your unit better. So as always, guys, go out, have fun, and don't forget to scout on purpose.